So let's talk about the friendliest ghost you know in his big screen debut. Here's a review of Casper, which turned 25 this past year. Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. Greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name is Joel, better known to you as the Big D, and this time around I bring to you a review of the 1995 live-action computer-animated fantasy comedy drama, Casper, released by Universal along with Amblin Entertainment and the Harvey Entertainment Company, starring Christina Ricci along with Bill Pullman, Kathy Moriarty, and Eric Idle, and introducing Malachi Pearson as the voice of the title character. Anyway, the film was directed by Brad Silberling, who was mostly known for directing TV shows since he directed episodes of Doogie Howser MD, NYPD Blue, and even LA Law, plus a lot of others, which he still does to this date, as he's recently been directing episodes of Dynasty and Charmed. This, of course, is his feature film debut. He, of course, would later go on to bring us other films as well, such as Sea of Angels, Lemony Snicket's A Series of Unfortunate Events, and Land of the Lost. And this, of course, is the second film to be based on one of the characters from the Harvey Comics Company. Of course, the previous year, Ricci Rich came, but of course that film was unfortunately dissed. Casper was, well, not quite, however. It's gotten some, well, factually good response in ways. So the reviews were mixed and what have you. But it was still pretty successful, though. Anyway, let's do our story. Now, we start out with two preteen boys named Nicky and Andreas, who apparently are on a dare to get a picture of a ghost. They explored Whipstaff Manor in Friendship, Maine, and argue over who should take the picture until a spectral entity swipes the camera and takes a picture of them himself, which unfortunately scares them away. That ghost was Casper, whose full name is Casper McFadden. Well, following the death of her father, neurotic and spoiled heiress Kerrigan Crittenden discovers she has only been left Whipstaff Manor in his will, while his vast wealth has gone to several charities. Kerrigan and her attorney, Paul Dibbs Plutzker, find a map within the will's papers that tell of an alleged treasure hidden inside the manor, but find the property haunted by a ghost named Casper and his poltergeist uncles, better known as the Ghostly Trio, Stretch, Fatso, and Stinky. The unsuccessfully attempt to force the ghost out by way of paranormal experts and demolition teams, including Ghostbuster. Dan Aykroyd actually has a cameo appearance in that. But I think there are other cameos too. We'll see. It's been some time since I last saw this movie, but I do have memories of it. Well, a lonely Casper watches a news report about paranormal therapist James Harvey and is instantly smitten with his young daughter, a teenager, Kathleen Harvey, or Kat for short, prompting Casper to inspire Kerrigan in summoning Dr. Harvey to Whipstaff. Kat dislikes her dad's reputation and obsession with contacting the ghost of his late wife, Amelia Harvey. So they move into Whipstaff, but Casper's attempts to befriend them fails when his uncles try to torment and scare them away, which eventually fails in a way. Well, apparently, that's when it really starts to get fun. I always like it when Stretch calls Casper Bulbhead. Yeah. Well, apparently, well, ghosts. Well, you probably know the story. There are some people who believe in ghosts, and there are some people who don't. Now, unlike his uncles and other ghosts, Casper just doesn't like to scare people. He'd rather be friends with them. Oh boy. So apparently, well, I like it when the ghostly trio try and scare off the Harveys and what have you. And once they give it a Casper and they and I like this part. It's like and Stretch is like, "Hey, Fatso, you smell something?" Yeah. Look at Stinky. He's like, "No, besides him." And they say, they get evil grins. They sense fleshies. Yeah, I've been here. So they managed to try and smooth it off. I especially like when the part when Dr. Harvey gets the vacuum, Stretch is like, "What the hell is that thing?" And Stretch ain't gets sucked into it, and it's like, "No, not the nose!" And then Stretch gets sucked in, Stinky gets fogged, and then Fatso too wants to get caught with his head's like, "This thing sucks!" Oh, oh. I'm sorry, I couldn't help it. It was a good part. Anyway, Casper gains the Harvey's trust when he serves him breakfast. What have you? Boy, but the ghostly trio just gets really ticked off and what have you, and Stretch gets in an argument with Cat. So apparently, after that, Casper follows Cat to school where she becomes very popular when her class learns she is living in Whipstaff and agrees to host their Halloween party. Well, much to the disappointment of her envious classmate Amber Whitmire and her boyfriend Victor the Philippi, they plan to humiliate Cat during the party. But Dr. Harvey attempts to do some stuff as he's bringing therapy sessions with the ghostly trio, who not only tried to avoid them, but also revealed they know Amelia. Yep. In exchange for convincing Kerrigan to leave them alone, they promise to go through the red tape involved to get Dr. Harvey into a meeting with Amelia. Cat learns Casper has no memory of his life and restores his old playroom to remind him. Casper recognizes an old wooden sled his father bought him and remembers playing outside until he caught severe cold and died of pneumonia, becoming a ghost to keep his father company. A newspaper article reveals that Casper's father was declared legally insane after he built a machine called the Lazarus, which he claimed could bring the dead back to life. Casper and Cat venture to J.T. McFadden's underground laboratory, and there they find the Lazarus. Unbeknownst to them, Kerrigan and Dibbs sneak inside, steal the formula that powers the Lazarus, and plot to use the machine, believing it could grant them immortality. However, they attempt to kill each other to test the theory and retrieve the treasure they think is in the laboratory's locked vault. As a result, Kerrigan falls off of a cliff to her death and rises again as a ghost in front of a shot Dibbs to show him that she is back. Oh dear. Meanwhile, Dr. Harvey becomes despondent after the trio pull a prank on, prompting them to take him out on the town. While at a bar, they plan on killing him to make themselves a quartet. But they have a change of heart after a drunken Dr. Harvey declares he will tell Kerrigan off so they can stay in their home. However, Dr. Harvey accidentally falls to his death in an open trench. Oh boy. Well, now I'm going to get to the ending of this movie. You have 5 seconds to stop if you've not seen this movie to fast forward to the time below in order to avoid ending spoilers. If you have seen this movie, you may continue after 5 seconds. Here we go. Okay, you've been warned. Kerrigan, who is now a ghost, flees. Well, no, not flees. He flies into the laboratory. Sorry, I got a little. Well, made a slight error. and confronts Casper and Cat, stealing a chest that she believes to contain the treasure from the vault. She then flings Dibs out of a laboratory window after he refuses to revive her and instead turns on her and tries to double cross her. Then Casper and Cat trick Kerrigan into saying that she has no unfinished business on Earth, causing her to involuntarily cross over to the afterlife. Kerrigan is terrified by the reality of crossing over to the afterlife and being permanently dead and gone forever. She begs, pleads, and desperately tries taking back her words, but too late. She crosses over, forced to remain dead and be gone forever, never able to return again. After she explodes, the capsule she was holding flies through the air, but before it can hit the ground, Cat manages to catch it. The treasure chest then falls to the floor, and the treasure is revealed to be Casper's prized baseball, signed by Duke Snyder, the Brooklyn Dodgers, Casper's favorite player, meaning that Kerrigan got herself killed and crossed over to the afterlife for the rest of eternity, all for nothing. The so-called map was part of a game Casper played with his father, which would have angered Kerrigan if she'd gotten a chance to see it. Casper tosses the baseball in the air and Cat catches it and reminds Casper of his wish to come back to life with the Lazarus. Then, just as Casper and Cat are about to see the Lazarus bring Casper back to life, Dr. Harvey shows up as a ghost and flies into the laboratory with the trio. As a ghost, Harvey is now loud and obnoxious like the trio, but he apparently lacks any memory of Cat. When Cat reminds her father of their pinky promise gesture, however, his memory returns and he becomes remorseful over having essentially left his daughter as an orphan. Cat's despair over this prompts Casper to sacrifice his one chance to return to life, reviving her father instead. Later on, the Halloween party kicks off upstairs because this was underground, this here little lab. Amber and Vic's prank is thwarted by the trio, and those two scream and flee in terror. A boy dances with Cat, and it's revealed to be the human version of Casper, who has wish granted by Amelia Harvey, who is now an angel. Amelia then meets with Dr. Harvey and tells him that she was so content with her family while alive that she has no unfinished business and encourages him to move on. Explaining that the ghostly trio kept their promise to find her for Dr. Harvey. Amelia departs as the clock chimes 10, promising Harvey that they and Cat will be together again one day. And after kissing Cat, Casper transforms back into a ghost and is like, boo. All the party gets scared off and they just flee like crazy. Cat's impressed with the party, which Dr. Harvey says is not over, and causes the ghostly trio to play their nephew's theme for them to dance to, which is done by Little Richard, and the film's end credits start to roll. And that's the end. A real spooktacular flick. So, what did I think of Casper? I gotta say, it was just, again, like I said, a spooktacular fun flick. Well, I forgot to say fun, but it is a good movie, and I really like it. Now, anyway, I have to say, it was really good. Now, critics actually praised the film for its faithfulness to its source material, specifically the title character, the visual effects, the musical score, which was done by James Horner. Very good. And the performances, but criticized its dark story and humor, unfortunately. But, however, it did well. It went on to make $287 million worldwide. It went on to spin off 4 direct-to-video or made-for-TV films and an animated spin-off, which was simply called Casper, but it was promoted as the spectacular new adventures of Casper, since Casper had been on TV before. Now, of course, okay, wait a minute. I made an error. Malachi well, Sora. Malachi Pearson did the voice of Casper, but however, the human form of Casper was Devon Sawa, who was soon to be in Wild America, and he would also go on to appear in Isle Hands as well as Final Destination and several other movies, as a matter of fact. Playing Cat is Christina Ricci, who had previously played Wednesday Addams in the two Addams Family movies. Playing Dr. James Harvey is Bill Pullman, who the following year would be even bigger in the movie Independence Day, which I'll be reviewing next year. Let's see. And the voiceovers of the Ghostly Trio are Joe Napote as Stretch, Joe Alasky, whom we sadly lost a few years ago. He would actually go on to be the later voice of Sylvester and several other Looney Tunes, and also was best known for playing Uncle Beano on TV's Out of This World as Stinky. And Fatso is voiced by Brad Garrett, who recently did voice acting for Hanna-Barbera's Two Stupid Dogs, as well as other cartoons such as Bonkers. And of course, that same year, he would get started appearing in in the first of 9 big seasons of TV's. Well, Everybody Loves Raymond. Now, Kerrigan's played by Kathy Moriarty, and Dibbs is played by British funny guy and a popular member of Monty Python fame, Eric Idle. Yes, I thought so. Dan Aykroyd does have a cameo appearance. We also had cameos by Don Novello, Mr. Rogers himself, Fred Rogers. Heck, even once the Ghostly Trio dive into the unconscious Dr. Harvey, he starts seeing faces of 3 actors: Clint Eastwood, Rodney Dangerfield, and Mel Gibson. Oh, wow. Anyway, I think the story's pretty good. I mean, don't mind what they say about it. It is dark in ways. The humor is pretty funny in ways, and I don't care what critics say about that, but I liked a lot of this movie. This movie was absolutely good. The story was good, the music's good, the cast is good, and, well, their characters are good too. So the question is, would I recommend Casper? You better believe it. Yes, and Brad Sibberling did a good job in directing this as well. So yeah, you ought to check out Casper. It's very good, and it's a real spectacular fun experience for your whole family. So yeah, check it out. So what are your thoughts on Casper? Please tell me on the comment section below. If you like this video, click the like button below, subscribe to my channel as well, and be a part of the Big D Nation. Okay. Join me next time when I bring to you a review of a pretty underrated family horror flick, The Little Vampire, which is celebrating its 20th anniversary. Anyway, thank you for watching, and if you like this, see these other spectacular family-themed reviews. In the upper left-hand corner is my review of, well, a spoiler-free review of A Babysitter's Guide to Monster Hunting. The upper the upper right hand corner, my bad, my mistake. Upper right hand corner is my back-to-back review of both live-action short and animated films of Tim Burton's Frankenweenie. And the bottom left-hand corner is my big review of the Halloween Town quadrilogy, which just came up earlier today. And the bottom right hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying see ya.